Red Beard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
What's going on, everybody? This is Tony, and you are listening to the Red Beard Podcast, and I'm hanging out with my boy,
Cooley.
That's right. So, hey, guys, we are back in full swing. I took a little bit of a break, and I am back. And, I just want to take a moment to thank Jay Costa for actually jumping in and co-hosting last week, because that was awesome. It was hilarious.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah, Jay's the man. As you guys know, he does our baller intro that you guys just heard. The guy kicks ass. So, Jay, thanks a lot, man, for stepping in. You rock, man. So I can't wait to have you on in October for the paranormal show. But anyway, dude, what's going on?
Dude, lots of stuff, man. I mean, it's been, 2 weeks since we actually – been like 2 weeks since we got together and like did anything podcast related. The last time we kind of hung out was at Walker Stalker.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was an experience, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we met some cool people.
Yep.
Got a chance to talk to Tate Steinzek.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, man. But I got to say, like, my own personal feeling and opinion is that I'm probably done with Walker Stalker.
Yeah, you know what's funny, man? I actually was thinking about that earlier today before you came over, kind of like trying to recap in my head what we did and what happened. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as good as it has been in the past. I feel like I've only been once, but you know, the first time I went, I feel like it was a good experience, but this time it just felt like kind of weak. Like they were just kind of like going through the motions, and maybe it's because we went on a Sunday. And everybody was kind of like, all right, it's the last day.
Maybe.
But I just feel like there wasn't like a lot of like energy to it. And I felt like last year there was.
Right. And you know what it was like for me? And it's exactly the same thing that you just said. Like, I was thinking about it today because you said, hey, let's recap Walker Stalker. And I was like, cool. And I'm trying to figure out what we're going to talk about. And literally the only thing that I could come up with was Robin Lord Taylor, Kane Hodder.
Yeah, Kane Hodder's awesome.
And Tate Steinzek.
Right.
Which, I mean, all three of those things, I mean, you can't put a price or a lot of words to explain the awesomeness of, you know, meeting these people and having conversations with them. But I mean, when all you can think of as far as, like, you know, the excitement of Walker Stalker is like, hey, I met a few people. Mm-hmm. And you compare that to, like, the experience of going to, you know, New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con or Chicago Comic Con or whatever, right? We've been to Rhode Island Comic Con, and it's like, I'm starting to get the feeling that a lot of these things is just like, you know, just vendors, like just having little pop-up shops. You know what I mean?
Well, I think
a bunch of them. I
think the one thing with Walker Stalker that is interesting is that, it's funny because the three people that you mentioned are not even in The Walking Dead. Like Kane Hodder, Tate Steinzek, and Robin Lord Taylor, like not in The Walking Dead at all. And it's funny to me because I just I went there this year thinking like, oh, maybe I'll meet one of these people. Like that would be kind of cool. But I just saw the lines and I was like, I don't want to spend $40 to like meet this person. Like he's right there. That's cool. You know, like I saw Glenn, he walked right by me. You know what I mean? Like Don shook his hand and stuff like that. But he was kind of like in his own world, like running around. And then, you know, Abraham was there. He had like a crazy line. And I think a lot of people have the feeling that he might be dead. So people are like, oh, shit, I better meet him now. And then, I don't know, there was a couple other people like in the downstairs room that like we could have probably met more easily but didn't. Right. Like Don met the governor. He also met his name's going blank, the dude with the staff, the bow staff. What's his name again from Walking Dead?
Oh yeah. Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan. He met Morgan. Said he was like super cool. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like there were cool people there, but it just didn't have the same energy that it did last year. And nobody really was like grabbing my attention to be like, oh man, shit, I want to meet him. You know, I was very close to actually saying to meeting the governor, but then I was like, I don't really care.
Thing is, I'd love to meet them all.
Yeah.
Right. But I want to have conversations with people.
Yeah.
You know? Like, let's go back to Billy D. Williams when I went to Arizona.
Yeah.
I met Billy D. Williams, and I've told the story numerous times. where you meet him, you shake his hand, and he's like a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Right. And when you spend $80, because that's how much it costs to meet Billy D. Williams, right? You kind of want to at least feel like an appreciated fan.
Right.
And I get that, there's a line behind you and stuff like that. But I mean, 30 seconds, man, just 30 seconds of your time to give me a couple of, a back and forth conversation. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. Oh, so it's nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And like you guys, connect for a second and then move me along, but to like this, Billy D, you shake his hand and he's just got grinning and talking through his teeth. Get out of here. Right. Like, oh, cool. Thanks. I appreciate that. Now I got a picture of fucking the worst memory of my fucking life right now. Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee was the exact opposite. So, I mean, I know they exist out there, but I mean, to know that I have to pay $40 to find out what that experience is going to be like, for a little 30-second meet and greet, that may or may not be even, a sentence exchanged.
Well, that's why what I do is when I go there, I'll scope. If there's somebody that I'm like, oh shit, I need to meet this person, like I'm all about it. Like I'll just get in line and whatever. Like that was like what it was going to be like with Billy from Gremlins with Zach Galligan. I was like, got to meet him, right? Don't even care, right? Whatever, got to meet him. But when I go to like Walker Stalker or Comic Con, I actually take a look. There's my phone going off. I actually look at how the person that I want to meet is interacting with people. Because if it's like a quick, like, hey, see you later, I'm like, all set. Yeah. But if they're actually like taking the time to kind of talk to the fans, like that's when I'll probably take a second, and be like, okay, cool. Like, this is awesome. Like, he's actually taking the time. Like, I would definitely like to meet this guy, he'll give me like the time of day. So,
because pictures don't really mean a whole lot to me. I don't really.
No.
I don't need them.
It's funny because, when I went to, I think it was Rhode Island Comic Con 2 years ago, I met a couple different people. I met Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And that guy was like awesome, right? I was just like, oh, cool. Like this guy is a G. Like he totally is into it. Like I was like, oh, big fan of Mortal Kombat. One of my favorite movies. I was like, and he was kind of like, I want to say he was a little distant at first, like I think they all are. But then I was like, just wanted to let you know, I was like, Mortal Kombat is one of those movies that came out when I was taking Kung Fu. I was like, I took Kung Fu for a decade, and he like stopped dead.
Right.
And he was like, you took martial arts, and he took Kung Fu. He's like, what kind? I was like, Shaolin Kung Fu. He's like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, do you still train? I was like, I was like, I try. I was like, not as much as I used to, because obviously he does. But it was just cool. Like, kind of had that connection with him for a minute. We were talking about that, and then he actually gave me like another picture, like for free, because I think he knows, like, I studied martial arts. I thought that was so cool.
Nice.
So just he was awesome. But the other guy that I met was the guy who played Hicks from Aliens, Michael Biehn. And Michael Biehn was like so cool. No one was at his booth. I'm like, why is no one talking to this guy? Like, he's from Aliens. Like, this guy has been in everything, right? And he was in the original Terminator. He played like John Connor. And so I went up to him, and me and Don were talking to him, and Don was like, hey, I still show Aliens. He's like, in my sci-fi class. He's like, the kids love it. They think it's like such a great movie, and they're always surprised that, like what they see, they don't expect things. And I was like, man, I was like really big fan of your work. I was like, I love Aliens, obviously one of my favorite movies. It's like, but I thought you were awesome in The Abyss. And he's just kind of like, I think he was taking back the fact that we knew who he was and like knew all his movies, because like really no one was talking to this guy. They're like talking to kind of like the bigger people. But they have these like B-list celebrities that are there that I feel like just get overlooked, and those are the people that I actually look for at Walker Stalker. They don't have lines. Like when we went to Walker Stalker, Kane Hodder was there. I met Kane Hodder years ago at Spooky World, and I met all three people. It was and I didn't even have to pay for it. I think it was it was David Carradine, who was a complete asshole. Right? Like, I told him that I took martial arts at the time because I was studying for like 2 years. And I was like, oh, you have all these books on martial arts. It's like, how long did it take you to learn all this? And he was like, because I know I've heard that like you learned Kung Fu as you went. And he was like, he didn't really want to talk to me really unless I like just bought one of his books. And he was kind of a dick. Like, I was saying stuff, and he was kind of like cracking jokes with Linda Blair like right next to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt like I was actually kind of getting made fun of for asking these questions. I'm like, why the fuck should I feel like this right now? I'm like, this guy is a shithead, right? So like, I just like kind of like moved on. I was like, fuck it, like I don't even care. And then I went to Linda Blair and I was talking to her, and I was like, I don't want to ask her a stupid question that everybody else has asked her. So I said, I was watching the making of The Exorcist the other day, and I saw like how when you threw up, they had to put all these tubes on the side of your mouth, and they covered it with a bunch of makeup. I was like, how long did that makeup take for them to do that? I was like, it'd take a long time. And she literally said, what do you think? That's what she said to me.
Who was that?
Linda Blair.
She said, what do you think?
That's what she said. And I'm like, what the? And I said, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Like, I kind of got pissed. I'm like, this is 2 out of fucking 3 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And so, and then, like, I had my buddy Hector with me, and Hector, like, doesn't give a fuck, and he doesn't care who Linda Blair is. So, like, I was like, I had her sign something because I'm like, whatever, it's Linda Blair, I'll keep it. And it's funny because it's like, you said that's, like, the worst memory of the picture you have.
Yeah.
I have that autograph, and every time I look about it, I think about how shitty that was.
Yeah.
And
it's
it
like,
fucking sucks. I have this fucking black and white autograph picture that, like, is just a reminder. But I met her last year again. I was like, I'm not paying for it, but Don wanted to meet her. And I'm like, I'll give her I was like, he's like, are you going to meet her? I was like, no, I'm not going to pay for it. I was like, but I'll go up there with you. I was like, because I'll give it a second chance and see if she's nice to me this time. She was nice, but I think gave more. She was there, like, also, like, more concerned about, like, this charity for dogs that she supports.
Right.
And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, so, yeah, I was like, my sister has a pit bull. I was like, nicest dog ever. And she's like, yeah, they get a bad rap. And she was kind of talking to me about that. And I was like, by the way, I was like, I met you years ago at Spooky World, and I wanted to be like, and you were a bitch, but I didn't say that. I was like, I met you years ago at Spooky World. I was like, it's a long time ago.
Maybe she was possessed at Spooky World.
Maybe she was. That's such a bad joke. So, but going back to the original point is Kane Hodder was there.
Yeah.
And Kane Hodder, dude, was so nice to me at Spooky World.
Awesome.
I was like, and it's funny, dude, he looked like 10 years.
That's right. You're still talking about Spooky World.
Yeah, he looked 10 years younger. When I saw him this year, I was like, shit, he got fucking old. But it was like, that was like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
More than that. That had to be in like, dude, that had to be in like 2001. Like, that's ridiculous. So he was nice to me. He was talking about, just being Jason and what that was like. And I'll never forget, because I'll never forget that. And I said to him this when we met him. I was like, I met you years ago at Spooky World, man. I was like, you were telling me how, you used to make stupid faces behind the mask when you go up and kill people. And he was like, yeah. He's like, and then this time he was like, yeah. He's like, I used to make noises. I'd wake up right as I'd go up to somebody to stab them. I'd just go, like, but you never know any of that, because I don't know. So he was still a cool guy. I've been doing these for how many years now, and he's still cool. That's how it should be.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. Like, so you have actors that, they play a role, and they do it so that people would appreciate what they're doing, right? And then when people appreciate what they do, they treat them like shit, right? But why? Not all actors. Obviously not all actors, because there are a ton of them out there that are great. Like you just mentioned Kane, awesome guy. But I mean, like, you get people like Billy D. Williams, you get people like William Shatner, from what I've heard.
He's an asshole.
Like, and they just, like, they don't get it. They don't understand, why, this guy's asking so many questions, or why, dude, it's because you did something great that made that person believe in that character and in that thing, right? So much that they wanted to ask you questions about it. And they want to know what the process was. And I don't care how many times you have to answer that question. You answer it like it's the first time you got asked that question.
Yeah, but dude, you have a different mindset. Like, you have a different mindset than them. Like, there's some people out there that don't fucking give a shit. They just don't care. They're there, dude. Why are they there? To make money. That's all that they're there for.
Then find something else to do,
Yeah,
because
I
you're
know
not
that.
doing the job that you got paid to do. Because your job is to be the person that you signed on to be, and don't go to a fucking convention
right
to promote that. If that's not what you want to do.
Yeah, but they don't care. They don't care. Like, William Shatner doesn't give a fuck. Like, William Shatner goes there because he's going to make money. Billy D. Williams is going there because he's making it like a couple fucking thousand. I mean, dude, the guy who played Herschel, that fucking guy had a line that it had to be like 70 people when I was standing in it. Not to mention the rest of the day. He's charging like $40 like for a picture per person. Like, think about how much money he's making. A shit ton of fucking money.
Who is it?
The guy who played Herschel on The Walking Dead. Super nice guy. Super nice guy. I met him. Super nice guy. But I mean, if you look at other people like,
and that's just it. Like people like that deserve that kind of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I said, man, it really comes down to them not giving a shit. You know, they've been doing it for so long. The power's going to their head. They are sick of answering the fucking questions. They just want to make money and get out of there, and they don't want to have to interact with a bunch of nerds. That's the fucking way that they look at it after a while, and that's stupid that they do, and it's fucking horrible. But some people don't give a shit. But I mean, the majority of the people at The Walking Dead or Walker Stalker, from what I heard, were awesome. We got a chance to talk to Robin Lord Taylor for a good 5 minutes, and he's another guy who just took the time. Like, we didn't even pay anything.
No, yeah, we walked up to him. We were just like, hey, because all we wanted to do was talk to him because we knew that he was going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yeah, and he's also going to be at NYCC, so that's awesome.
We wanted to see what we had to do in order to like get to talk to him at Rhode Island. Hopefully, that all pans out. But I mean, it wasn't like I didn't feel like he shut us down.
No, we went up to him and was like, yeah, you know me, we just want to say hi. He's like, yeah, come on in, awesome. He was just like, well, let's talk. And we were just talking to him and talking about Gotham and how he thought he was doing a great job, and he was like really like gracious about it, and he was just funny. Because we were just talking about Batman.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he do this for? I thought he like did this in front of all of us, but like didn't he lean in and like just like cover his mouth up like he's telling us a secret and go, fucking mayor of Gotham.
Yeah. Well, he looked at Don. He looked at all of us. He's like, hey, come here, I have to tell you a secret. Then he's like, fucking mayor of Gotham. Yeah. And we were like, and we just laughed, and I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. You know, he was just a ball buster.
Like it truly just made me want to watch that show because like I'm not a huge fan of the show. Like I watch it every now and then, but like now, like when the new season comes out, I'm going to check it out. Like because. And that's what I'm getting back to, like the whole idea of like how these people act. It's like it's because of us, and I'm not talking about Redbeard podcast. I'm talking about like fans in general. It's because of us that they are popular and that they are, that they are good at they're good at what they do regardless.
Yeah.
But if everybody knew what was underneath, like what the real person was like,
right,
may not like you so much.
True.
It's just like these girls, man. Like they get themselves painted up all pretty. They look great, but then they have a shitty attitude. It's like you don't even want to fucking talk to them.
Yeah.
You buy them a drink, you sit down, you talk. They're like, and you're like, oh, fuck this girl. Right?
Yeah, like when you got your cleavage together, you were looking for somebody to look at it. But if I look at it, I'm an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You ever hear that joke that Dave Chappelle said? He goes, I like how like girls get really pissed off. He's like, if you treat them like a slut. He's like, because they dress like that. He's like, or whatever. He's like this girl like literally is walking around and she's got like a really short skirt. Like literally he's like, I can see the bottom of her ass. He goes, and literally like her boobs are busting out. Like she's basically got nothing on. He goes, and I looked at her and she's like, what are you looking at? And he's like, I'm looking at you being half dressed. He's like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, just because I'm dressed this way? She goes, you think you can look at me like that? And he goes, yeah. He goes, bitch. He goes, you know what I'm going to fucking do? He goes, that's like me putting on a fucking police outfit. He goes, hanging out on the street. He goes, then somebody comes up to me. He goes, and then you run up to you like, help. He's like, what, just because you think I'm dressed this way, I'm a cop? And I thought it was so funny, It's a good point, I mean, you should never call any girl slut, but you know what I mean? It's just like
and for the ladies out there, I mean, just that you can relate to what we're saying. I mean, like I'm gonna flip it around and talk about maybe these guys out there that are dressed in like these nice 3-piece suits with their hair all done nice. Look like, you could bounce a quarter off their head and it wouldn't fuck up their hair, right?
Yeah.
And like, you go up to them, like you think they're cute and you go up to them and like, but they're too fucking concerned with talking to somebody on their little Bluetooth headset to pay you any mind, right? And then they look at you and they maybe put $1 in your cup and it's just like a fucking cup of coffee. You weren't trying to get money, but like they act like you're a fucking poor little girl, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's what we're talking about. That's the type of like misdirect that we're talking about when somebody's like dressed nice and looking good and then they present themselves as a fucking dick.
Yeah, exactly. I will say this though, just to kind of flip the switch. I definitely want to talk about this because I mentioned this to you earlier. So Kevin Smith basically like owned this troll on the internet about I think this past week, and I need to tell you what happened. So for those of you that don't know about this is an awesome story. Which makes me even a bigger fan of Kevin Smith. So basically, what happened was, and I don't know if you know this, but his daughter's name is Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn Smith. So anyway,
Yep, knew it.
Yep. So basically, this is basically what happened. I'm just going to read this little piece of an article here. So, yeah, he was on. She posted something, a picture of her, and this troll actually came online and said to her specifically, he goes, "You're ugly as shit." He goes, "In the steaming horse shit of a movie," and I'm basically going to say the C word twice just so you guys can get the harshness of this. You're ugly
By
as
C
shit.
word, he means cunt.
Yeah. You're ugly as shit, and that steaming horse shit of a movie, yoga hosers, should be banned. Fuck your talentless cunt of a father for trying to compare it to The Matrix. You're cancer, and I sincerely hope you end up like Lindsay Lohan and dead. And so basically that's what this guy said on her Instagram, right? So
On Harley Quinn Smith's Instagram.
And this is basically like directly to her, and this is what her father said. Basically, like hit him right back, and it's about a paragraph, but it's fucking amazing. He goes, but here's a nickel's worth of free advice for folks like this troll. If you hate me or my kid this much, the better use of your time is to make your dreams come true instead of slamming others for doing the same. The best revenge is living insanely well. So if you want to get back at a 17-year-old girl for the grievous crime of enjoying her life, the best way to do it is to succeed in your own existence. Show the world why we should be paying attention to you instead of anyone else. Because randomly attacking others merely communicates how creatively and emotionally bankrupt you are. You think you have something to offer the world, but others are getting all the attention? Don't bitch or punish the world. Just create. Create something nobody's ever seen before, and there's a good chance the world will notice you. Attacking teen girls on the internet is the saddest form of masturbation that exists and requires no discernible skill or talent. You want attention? Don't make yourself mad. Make something original and fun. Because if you're not being useful in this world, you're being useless. Don't be useless. Go make stuff that make people happy. Boom. Like, what the hell can you say to that? Like, he literally shut that guy down in the most positive fucking way ever.
And that's why we love Kevin Smith.
Dude, like, awesome.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's like, I mean, he shut him down, and he was completely positive about it.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's obviously pissed off because he's got nothing going on in his life.
He didn't once directly attack that guy.
No.
Which is awesome.
Right.
And what's that guy going to say? He's going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go make something.
Shut up.
I'll go make something creative. Okay.
But I just thought it was like the most perfect thing that he could have ever said. And he owned this guy. You know what I mean? And I don't think the guy responded because there's like a screenshot of her Instagram where like that guy actually like posted that long comment and like there's nothing after that. It's like no, like everybody else like liked the photo, but nobody talked about what he said. And he went back and literally just like laid into this dude. So I mean, and it literally went viral because people were like losing it that he actually went in and like, of course he's going to like defend his daughter and she's 17 and this guy's literally just shitting on her for no reason. You know, just because he's got nothing going on in his life is probably envious of her success. You know what I mean? Or the fact that she has a great life because Kevin Smith is her dad and that's a ton of money. You know, but I mean, she's privileged, but seriously.
So I did take something out of what the guy said. Did Kevin Smith kind of say that Suicide Squad was like The Matrix?
No. He said, I don't know. Oh, he also said, he also put, at the beginning of that, he put, "What's it like to be my daughter, 17-year-old Harley Quinn Smith, received this message simply for the heinous crime of posting a pic of herself on Instagram." And he put, "I have zero clue what the reference to The Matrix is all about. Wow, way to unload on a teen girl because you have nothing to do in life." And then that's when he started that other thing.
All right, good, because I was like,
yeah, I didn't get it either.
That doesn't make any sense, and I can't imagine that he would compare the two because there's no comparison.
No, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
All right, at all. So that was something that happened in the news this week that I thought was worth mentioning.
That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that with me because I didn't know about that, and it's fantastic.
Oh, it's fucking great, dude. I do want to talk about one other thing, and well, actually, we'll get to that. It's a part of this. Now, I did recently see Suicide Squad.
Yeah, me too.
And I know you're aching to talk about this. So, I mean, here's my thing. I waited for the rush just because I had a lot of stuff going on, which is why I couldn't be on the podcast last week. But I I went to see Suicide Squad with my wife, and I loved it, man. I really did. I thought it was excellent. I thought they did a great job. And for me, it was like the movie was getting trashed, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to listen to these reviews. I'm sick of going to movies and shitting on everything and trying to figure out what's wrong with it and why they didn't do this and why they didn't do that. And this could have been done, and this could have been done better, and they could have switched it. Fuck that. I'm literally just going to go in and accept it for what it is. And I was entertained the entire time. There wasn't one point where I got bored. The only criticism that I do have is I don't know why they made Killer Croc's lines the stupidest things he could have ever said. Like, I feel like Killer Croc could have said some stuff that was a little bit cool, but they just seem so corny, like one-liner, like Arnold Schwarzenegger lines. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, that's the only time where I kind of laughed. I looked back and I was like, that was kind of stupid. Like, that was corny.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with any of the characters. I thought they all did a great job. I thought Margot Robbie was, like, unbelievable as Harley Quinn. I thought she killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, down to everything. I mean, Harley Quinn as a video game character is very different than the Harley Quinn in the movie, but I felt like she got as close to that as humanly possible. Like, I found her interpretation of that character awesome, especially when Batman jumps on the Lamborghini they're racing around in.
Yeah.
And she's like, Batsy always ruins everything. I'm like, oh, that's like right out of the fucking video game. Like, that's right out of the comic.
Right.
You know, like, I thought it was great. I felt like the Joker, Jared Leto's interpretation of the Joker was very different, but I also really liked it. I felt like I heard this going in, so I wasn't surprised that the Joker was in it for like a minimal amount of time. Mm-hmm. But I still, when he was on screen, like, I was like captivated by him.
Right.
I thought Will Smith was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Viola Davis. Like, I don't know. It's just like everybody. I mean, I thought everybody did a great job. I thought the movie made sense to me. The plot made sense. I don't know what people are bitching about. I mean, I feel like they're gonna find something to shit on because it's DC. You know, if it's not Marvel, it's DC. Let's take time to find everything wrong with it. So, but I don't give a fuck, and I really loved it. So, I'm interested to see what you have to say.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the stuff that you had to say, and a lot of the reasons why you liked the movie or loved the movie are a lot of the reasons why I liked the movie. Some of the reasons why I didn't love the movie has nothing to do with the fact that it was DC. Absolutely nothing. What it has to do with is just oversights by the writers or directors, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Batman versus Superman was critically demolished.
Yeah.
So the studio stepped in and they wanted to do different things with Suicide Squad instead of letting the director put his vision on the screen. So you had these great characters, fantastic characters. I mean, I thought they were all well portrayed. The only one I didn't like so much is exactly the one that you mentioned, which made my heart warm when you said that, Killer Croc had stupid lines, because I hated Killer Croc when he opened his mouth.
Yeah.
If he didn't say anything, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
But when he opened his mouth and he said stupid shit like, not me, shorty, I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
I just wanted to slap him. I could not stand anything that came out of his mouth. But that's besides the point. So yeah, some of the shit that took me out of it was the number one problem that I had with it was you have Viola Davis pitching the Suicide Squad to this I don't know who is it Homeland Security or whoever it is.
Basically it's
right?
the United States government.
Yeah, she's trying to get approval for this, right? And it was just hilarious to me. The fucking selling point that she's trying to make is, what if Superman wanted to kill the president? Mm-hmm. You want to know what happens if Superman wants to kill the president?
He kills the president.
He kills the fucking president. The Suicide Squad that she's putting together is not. It's exactly that. It's a Suicide Squad, because if Superman wants to kill the president, he will kill the Suicide Squad, then kill the president.
Yeah.
Because none of them were going to do shit against Superman.
Yeah.
They can't beat Batman, and Superman almost fucking destroyed Batman
Right. That was one of the things that I will agree with I'll definitely agree with you on that point. When she was talking about that, or the guy was like, let's just say that Superman wants to fly into the White House. And I'm like, yeah, that's a valid point, and that totally could happen. It wouldn't, though. But I'm like, okay, if it did happen, I'm like, I don't think Deadshot's going to fucking make a difference.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make a difference. Like, it's cool, but, like, the bullet isn't going to hurt Superman.
It'll hit him, but it'll bounce off.
Yeah, so that was the
Harley
thing.
Quinn's not going to stop him with her bat, and a boomerang's not going to stop him, and Killer Croc will break his teeth on his shoulder, and who else is there? Diablo is going to fucking try and burn Superman. It might burn the suit, but not Superman. Superman's just going to fucking kill all of them, and then kill the president. Right? So that's number one. That was my number one gripe. As soon as they said that, I was like, okay, well, the premise of why you are having a Suicide Squad is flawed. Yeah. Right? Then they actually give, and he, so I loved it I loved how because he said exactly what I thought. They gave Deadshot a loaded gun, an actual loaded gun, and then he was like, are y'all crazy or some shit? Like they said his little Will Smith line, right? And I was like,
his Will Smith line, because it was Will Smith.
Yeah, and I was like, yep, that is exactly what I'm thinking right now. These people are crazy giving Deadshot a loaded gun, and that could have worked out awful for them.
Yeah, you could have killed all of them.
All of them.
But then again, they as
because there was a table full of loaded guns.
Yeah, but although you do say that. Every one of the guys behind him had a gun. So, I mean, like, all they had to do was shoot him once in the head and he would have went down. I mean, so, yeah, I get that. But, I mean, like, after he shot, like, one or two people, he would have been killed.
One of the biggest things, though, is the villains. Mm-hmm. Right? So you have the villains, and first of all, I don't know who the fuck the villains are, and I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I honestly don't give a shit about the villains at all.
Right.
And at the end of the movie, you have and they try to build these things up as these crazy, powerful villains that you have to take down, right? Enchantress decides that she's not going to use any of her fucking magic or abilities, and she's going to fist fight the Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. You heard what I just said, right? She's not going to use any of her magic and abilities, and she's going to fist fight the Suicide Squad.
All right.
Cool, right? No. So, then the other problem that I had was that her brother, who I still don't know what his fucking name was. Like, did they ever give him a name, or was it just her brother?
I think it was like brother.
Evil. Right. Evil brother, right? So her evil brother.
You're playing evil brother.
Right. I wonder what it is in the casting. Look it up online right now. Just see if
keep talking. I'll look it up.
All right. So he is like a tank, right? Like he's just crushing everything. Like you throw it, unstoppable.
Right.
Fucking bomb stops him, right? Like they set off a bomb and he's dead.
Right.
Dead. Oh no, brother! What are we gonna do? It's all over. No. Why? How? How did you kill a god with a bomb?
I don't know.
Thank you. So I'm not picking it apart, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but there were things in that movie that you would look at, and you have to say, this shit makes zero sense. And I'm sorry. Like, I mean, like, the rest of the movie was great. Like, and, like, the characters were great. And if it wasn't for the characters and the performances and how it all came together and, like, how the squad actually represented, I would hate that movie. But they had enough charm and enough love for the characters themselves that I was cool with it. I actually left that movie with a smile on my face. I enjoyed it, but I can't say like you did that I absolutely loved it, because there was so much wrong with the actual story, the plot, the way that it all came together, and like the final solution to killing. And Rob actually mentioned that, and this, I totally saw it after I saw the movie. The ending was Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I haven't seen Ghostbusters. So
not that Ghostbusters. The ending was the ending of the original Ghostbusters, minus the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah, I can see that.
You had Gozer, right?
Yeah.
Who was the Enchantress.
Right.
And then, like, when everything was said and done and you thought she was dead, they just had to peel the shit off her, right? Plus, you had the building with all the shit swirling around the top of it, and it was, and they all, like, show up, and they're fucking, like, these regular people, like, and they're facing a god. Are you a god? Right? Like, dude, fucking Ghostbusters. Like, just, like, nobody in the studio said, hey, are we doing Ghostbusters on purpose? Like,
yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because, like, when it was when they were going up to the top of the building, like, that's what I thought. I was like, this is kind of like Ghostbusters, but then, like, I forgot about it. Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, I think those are valid points. I mean, things that I didn't necessarily, like, really care about or notice, like, when I was there, I like, for me, it was just like, I decided to go into it and just kind of accept it. You know, like, this is what they were going to do. Like, I didn't really notice those things, I guess. I mean, but still, it doesn't really change what I thought about it. Like, I thought it was great.
Like, for me, that stuff is acceptable when you don't have anything better to gauge it against. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you have better shit out there, like, you have to set the bar a little higher when you're making a movie and trying to launch a connected universe like Marvel did. I mean, the jury's still out on Doctor Strange. I don't know what that's going to be like, but so far everything that Marvel's done has been great. I'm not going to say all of it's been awesome, because some of them aren't, you know, super amazing, but some of them, but they're at the very least very good, right?
Yeah.
And if you're gonna try and launch a connected universe like that and try and do the same thing and kind of fill those shoes or try and be better than Marvel, you have to come better than what you're doing. You have to fucking sit down. You have to look at what you're putting out there and give us a better villain. Give us somebody that we give a shit about. Have it make a difference. Have it count. Like, who are you rescuing? The Suicide Squad literally rescued the fucking woman that's holding them captive. Like, the whole thing just came full circle. Like, there was nothing that was there was nothing at stake that really made me give a shit at all. Like, about who won, who lost. Like, it was all self-contained in a little bubble.
You know what it was for me, though? I think Suicide Squad, it was more or less about me giving a shit about the plot. And I feel like that... I don't know, dude. I feel like me going into movies has been forever changed because I went to school for acting. Like, and this is the same thing with... I've heard this from other people who have gone to school for different things. Like, if you go to school for directing, if you go to school for lighting, if you go to school for acting, like, ever since I actually got involved in acting and that was what I wanted to do, every single time I went to a movie, I spend more time looking at what the person is doing with the character. Like, well, there was a lot of Will Smith, but I thought Will Smith as Deadshot was good. I mean, but it was like Will Smith, right? You know, with a little bit of Deadshot in there. It was more Will Smith than anything.
Right.
Margot Robbie and Jared Leto, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they're unrecognizable, right? And I get more enjoyment focusing on those things. And the plot is like a secondary thing to me, and I feel like it has been for a while. Like, I go into the movies and there's sometimes, dude, I don't even fucking realize what's going on. I'm looking more at the actors. And I think maybe that's why Suicide Squad was so good for me, because I was blown away by some of these actors and the stuff they were doing. Like, I thought, like I said, Margot Robbie, she's one of my favorite parts of this. I thought she was phenomenal. And I also thought that Jared Leto was great. And Jared Leto, for those of you who don't know, did some crazy, like, method shit getting ready for this. Like, he I guess, sent a package to Margot Robbie when she was on the set, and it was like, it's like in crayon, it was like from the Joker, and like she like felt something in the box, and like she opened it up, and it was like a fucking live rat. Like, he like literally went to the nth degree to like fuck with people as the Joker. And Will Smith was on Good Morning America, I think, right, it was like the Friday or the day before it came out, and they were talking about like what it was like to work on Suicide Squad and what it was like to, you know, how did they like work?
Yeah, didn't he say like he hates him?
Well, he said he didn't say he hates him. He's like I don't like Jared Leto when he's the Joker. He's like, but he's like, I've been working with Jared Leto. He's like for 6 months. He's like, and I just met Jared Leto like 4 days ago. Like, he didn't, like, he completely was the Joker the entire time until filming stopped. For me, I feel like that's a little too much. I mean, like, if you're going to go method, cool. Like, I know Daniel Day-Lewis does that. Like, he walks around, when they were doing Gangs of New York, he walked around New York City in a top hat and a cane. Like, for me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that's cool if you want to, like, get in character, but if you're walking around in modern-day New York City in a top hat and a cane, I don't understand how you're going to do anything that relates to that time period. Like, nobody in that time period hailed a cab. Like, there weren't people walking around with iPhones. Like, how are you getting into character? Like, if you want to walk around in top hat
I
and
think
a
it's
cane,
all bullshit, man.
I think, it's bullshit. And I honestly, we have to call you Mr. President when they were doing Lincoln. Like, dude, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Also,
like I'm the Joker, but yet I'm not doing anything criminal.
Yeah, and then in the I guess when Day-Lewis was getting in character for John Proctor in The Crucible, he built like a fucking shack by hand. You know, like just got all the stuff and built it by hand with like nails and stuff. I mean, like, all right, bro. Like, it's cool you want to be all method, but like I feel like there's a point where like when the camera stops rolling, you know, like be sociable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. I get it if you really want to engross yourself in that character and that's all you want to think about and you really want to get your mind there, like, go for it, man. But like, I've never been that type of an actor. It's like as soon as the camera's like rolling, boom, go into the character, and then step out of it when it's done.
Or even if you take like 15 minutes before you start filming to get yourself there. Right?
And I usually do that. Like before I go on stage, I take a couple minutes. My thing is I listen to music that puts me in that kind of that mood.
Right.
You know, I'll listen to music to get me like amped up. I know Jim does that too. Like Jim, like before every show, like he's got a ritual like I do. Like I listen to a specific song by the Rolling Stones. He listens to like a Metallica song, you know, and then he gets into his thing. Like when we were doing the show in New York, like Jim would spend like good like 6 minutes before like literally like working himself up emotionally. So when he came on stage, like he was crying, you know. So it really comes down to I think how far you're willing to go. But I feel like being.
I mean, it's almost like when I hear that, when I hear like they have to do it like, you know, 24/7, it's like I feel like they're scared that if they stop, they're gonna be unable to hit that character again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like if you're a good actor, then you shouldn't be a problem. Just, dude, I mean, like
they worked so hard and like they tried like several different ways of doing that character and they finally hit this one way of doing it and like, oh, I can't stop this because if I do, I'm never going to get it back.
No, I think you can hit it if you just challenge yourself and put the time into it. You know, you should be fine. But anyways, so I mean, that's what I thought of Suicide Squad. I mean, those are valid points. They make a lot of sense. I can definitely see that. I still haven't seen Ghostbusters. We were talking about that earlier. I'm definitely going to go check it out. But I do have one movie that I want to check out before Ghostbusters, which is Sausage Party. Mm-hmm. Keep hearing like phenomenal things about that. Paul went to see it on like I think premiere night or whatever, and said it was like when the first like 2 minutes, he's like, "You're like, holy shit! I can't believe they just did that." You know, he said the audience was in like hysterics with this movie the entire time. So, I mean, it's Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, like you know all those guys.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine like how funny it's going to be. So that's the next thing on my list, and then after that, I'm going to go check out Ghostbusters. So I have here's something. I know we usually do a segment, but I have it's a new segment. I don't really have an intro for it, but it's a question. I don't know if it's more of a segment. It's a question that I want to ask you, and I'm going to throw it on you. I didn't tell you about it ahead of time because I want to see what your initial reaction is.
All right, I'm not good at initial reactions.
No, right? I know, but even if you have to think about it for a second, what is a song that people would probably bust your balls about or make fun of you that you listen to, but you actually love it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a song that, like, you probably would jam out to or, like, be like, yeah, I like this song. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to tell anybody else I like it.
That's actually easy. Meghan Trainor, If I Was You.
Okay.
All right. I love that song.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, because you know what mine is? You're going to laugh your ass off. We Are Family by Sister Sledge.
Dude, what's wrong with that?
No, I'm just saying, man, like, most people...
You just came at me with, like, one of the coolest fucking songs in history.
Yeah, but, like, dude, I'll fucking dance out to, like, rock to that shit. Like, a lot of people, like
No, like seriously, like there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
So
I fucking love that song.
You just made me tell you that I listened to Meghan Trainor, and you're gonna come out with Sister Sledge and We Are Family. Get the fuck out of here,
I'm
man.
telling you though.
Jesus Christ.
No, Meghan Trainor, that's a good song though.
Yeah,
it is. It's not a bad song. Like I actually like that Ed Sheeran song. What's the fucking name of it? What is it? Oh shit, I forgot the name of it. It's on his. It's like a fast song. Oh shit, man, I can't remember the name. I'm gonna look it up right now. Ed Sheeran. What the hell's the name of it? It was kind of like a rappy song. I think it's based on somebody too. Hold on. It's called. I think this is it. Thinking Out Loud. Nope, that's the slow one. It's called Don't. This one. Hold on. Play the beginning of it. You know that song, right? Have you ever heard that?
No.
Hold on.
No.
All right, so it's called. You got to download like the explicit because it's called "Don't." But basically, the whole chorus is like "Don't fuck with my love," and like it's actually pretty good because the whole song is actually about Eli Golding. You know who she is? Yeah, it's about her. Like a lot of people didn't know that for a while, but it's actually, some people thought it was about Taylor Swift, but it's not. It's actually about her. So if you listen to the song "Keep Her in Mind," they were like touring and shit and like messing around, and then she literally one night just like decided to go fuck one of the guys from One Direction, and Ed Sheeran's like "fuck you." That's basically what that whole song is to her. You know, she basically like they were in the hotel.
He must not listen to her music.
I know, right? But like honestly, I just thought like it's a good song, so that's one of my guilty pleasures. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just feel like "We Are Family" by Sister Sledge is like the one song that is associated with like the gay pride. Like gay pride parade. People
is
like,
it?
Yeah, like dude, watch the.
I thought it was like Gloria Gaynor. What's that fucking song? The one that's like the anthem or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Come on.
What are you talking? Oh, It's Raining Men.
No, well, that's a little too obvious.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that. I know that's not it.
What is? Come on, Becca. You just walked in here.
Just walked in. All right.
Gloria Gaynor. What's the song? Yes, thank you.
I Will Survive.
Yeah.
It's I Will Survive is a good one, but no, like Sister Sledge, like I definitely like We Are Family. That's like the theme song in the Birdcage. So I don't know. I just feel like that's what that's usually associated with, but I'll jam out to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. You were like, I like how you were like, oh, that's easy, Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Sweet. Well, yeah, dude. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Because we're coming up on an hour. I know are we gonna? I think what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna make sure that we do this. I want to post the Tate Seinzik interview separately.
Yeah.
Just as its own thing because we did interview him. We got about it was like 10 minutes interview with him, and the guy was like super cool. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's like an insane makeup artist. He does great makeup. He was actually making people look like walkers at Walker Stalker, and he had this.
That was cool. That was really cool.
There was this one woman that was getting made up as a walker, like in front of her daughter, because her daughter like didn't think she would do it, and she got all done up by him, and then she basically like chased her around, and the daughter was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
So
it was like, "Stop it, Mom!"
Yeah. Oh my God. So I thought it was awesome. Oh my God! Stop! Get away. So I thought that was great, but he was on Face Off, and he actually like sliced up his finger and came back and didn't, but he still made it to like one of the final rounds. But he's won Face Off too. So if you guys have not checked him out, definitely check him out on Facebook. Check him out on YouTube. He's got some great videos too. But you're gonna hear a really cool interview about his experiences and some advice if you're kind of looking to get into makeup and special effects, like what might be like the right path to take to kind of succeed in that arena, because that is kind of like, that's the backstage. That's the stuff that people never really see. They just, see it when the camera's rolling. So kind of cool to hear about it from another angle.
Yeah, I thought he was awesome, man. He was very, very kind.
Yeah, he was super cool.
Yeah, and like just like fun.
Yeah,
to talk to. Yeah,
definitely. All right, man. Well, I don't know. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good, man. I mean, next week we should definitely talk about some of the new stuff that's been coming out for Luke Cage.
Definitely.
I'd love for you to check out at least one episode of The Get Down because that's like my new obsession right now. It's fucking awesome.
And we would be talking about Stranger Things, but I haven't finished watching it yet, so we will next episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, one other thing, I just want to throw this out there, kind of a little bit of a sneak about what's going on or what's going to be coming. So everybody knows who Viola Davis is because, obviously she was in Suicide Squad and she's been killing it for a while on film. But I know her sister, Dolores Grant, really well. I've actually had the opportunity to work with her. She's a teacher at Central Falls High School, and she works a lot in the arts. But she is actually going to be a guest on our podcast, and she's going to talk to us about what's going on with her as far as what she does with education, and also she'll be able to kind of talk about what it's like to hang out with her sister and go to the Academy Awards and hang out with the entire cast of Suicide Squad. So that'll be fun. And she also has the jacket that Boomerang wore in Suicide Squad. So hopefully she's already told me that I'll get a chance to wear that. Cooley and I will probably be able to put on that jacket and take a couple pictures and post those for you guys. So that is to come. But other than that, guys, keep checking us out. We'll be going to New York Comic Con on October 7th, and then obviously we're going to be going to Rhode Island Comic Con. Yeah,
and New York Comic Con. That's going to be your first actual big comic book convention, right?
Yeah. I've never been to New York Comic Con before. I know you've been, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, kind of like Walker Stalker and Rhode Island Comic Con and stuff like that are the ones that I've been to, but New York Comic Con would be the biggest one.
Yeah, now Rhode Island Comic Con is a big convention, don't get me wrong, and they do a good job with what they do. But when you go to New York, when you go to San Diego, when you go to Wizard World Chicago was one of the huge ones. When you go to those conventions and you have a Marvel booth and a DC booth and a Dark Horse booth and stuff like that, and they're actually all completely decked out with all the fanfare and the statues and all that. It's a completely different atmosphere, man. You're gonna see the difference, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait. That's gonna be awesome. Everybody keeps telling me New York is awesome, so I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait. So October 7th will come quick.
Sweet.
So, all right, guys. Well, check us out on Twitter as always. Keep checking redbeardpodcast.com. We're going to post the Tate Seinsick interview, so make sure you're checking for that as well. And
like us on Facebook.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Facebook.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.
Facebook.